It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file. From Fantatrax TV, this is Good Morning Tatooine!
Good morning, Tatooine indeed. We're back once again with your recap of everything Star Wars and Lucasfilm. I'm your host, Brian Cameron. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Paul Naylor. How are you, Paul?
Good evening, sir. I'm well. Are you?
I'm excellent. How has your week been?
A relatively quiet week. Been putting a few bits and bobs together for different people, magazines, adverts, that kind of thing. But no, nothing dramatic, I can't think.
Have you been to the cinema to see The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Nah, that ship sailed.
Yeah, it's a big problem. Yourself. Not many people have been to go and see it.
I know. What's the viewing figures been like this week? 3 men and a dog.
Well, we're going to be talking about that. Why don't we just talk about that straight off the bat?
Let's do it.
Let's just Let's just jump straight in. Let's just go there and pull up the information. Mandalorian and Grogu box office latest.
Oh, here we go.
3 weekends at the box office. It has amassed a total of $293,585,022. With £155,785,022 of that arriving at the box office in the United States of America. Still $100 million behind the lowest grossest film of the Disney era, Solo: A Star Wars Story, and far off the £1 billion that the other Star Wars films were hitting. Down 945 screens. Getting pulled from IMAX, down 59% on last week's figure, which was down on 70% the week before. It is nosediving. And just to get the most up-to-date figure, now £299,432, $355. It is edging towards the $300 million mark, but it is struggling.
Yeah. It's a good fun film, but it doesn't really mean much. And it clearly doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. It's not the sort of thing that's going to bring in people that aren't already fans. And as I've said before, I think had it not been for people like yourself, myself, and various people that we know who've gone and had repeat screenings of it. I mean, how many times have you seen it at the cinema?
Yeah, 4, well, I'm 5? Making up at least $100 of that mark.
There you go. Exactly. And I've been twice. So people outside of the fandom not going have been propped up massively by the fans because we've seen it multiple times. Had we all gone and seen it just the once, that figure would be shocking.
The talk from retailers as well is that the merchandise is not selling well, which is problematic. And the talk from the consumers is that, I'm looking forward to it. I'll check it out when it's on Disney+.
And that's what I was going to say. I think the big thing is as well, the economic climate If people already own Disney Plus, if they already subscribe to Disney Plus, they'll be thinking, well, I can wait a few weeks. I'll watch it. I'll watch it here on my 52-inch screen at home, which will be like being at the cinema anyway. And that's what's happening. People just can't afford to go out and do things like go to the cinema like they used to.
Well,
So that
I
will
was discussing
contribute
this with
towards it.
Matt Booker, and the cost of a
Yeah.
family to afford to go to the cinema to watch Mandalorian and Grogu is about 20% more than your annual subscription to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So we've
Exactly.
just talked about in the show before that they've mucked up the entire TV industry with the pricing of Disney Plus compared to what people used to pay for their TV subscriptions.
Yeah.
They've also destroyed cinema as well, because a day out to the cinema for a family is more expensive than your annual subscription to Disney Plus.
Yeah. If you were to buy put it this way, the first screening that I had of Mando and Grogu was at a View Cinema. I think they were I went for like the best seats that they got in there. I think they were something like 17 pound a seat. And as always, last minute rush to get there. So bought the snacks and the drink while we were there. That was about another 15, 16 quid. So, you're looking at 50 quid for a couple to go and see a film.
Yeah.
It's crazy. People can't do it.
No. The only chance we've got of a Mandalorian and Grogu 2 is not based off the box office numbers. It's now going to be based off does it do well enough on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Because I don't see them going back to doing a season 4. I just don't see that happening. Now that they've done the movies, it's movies or nothing. I think if it does well enough on Disney Plus and it makes its cost back at the cinema, you're effectively a free production for Disney Plus.
Mm.
And that might just be enough to justify a sequel.
Yeah.
But I think we're clutching at straws.
Well, they turned their back on any future solo stuff, or certainly it appears that's the case. I mean, that's 8 years ago that Solo was out at the cinema.
Yeah, and we heard Emilia Clarke's opinion on that last week, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if that's what happened with Solo, and Solo did, a little bit better than Mando and Grogu did at the box office, well, then it doesn't bode well for the future of that part of the Star Wars galaxy, does it?
No, it's very problematic, and it's going to be interesting how they address it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I think
Season 2 of Book of Boba
think.
Fett, and then you just give them 3 episodes again.
Why not? No, I don't know what you think, Brian, but I miss the days when it was sort of like 3 years between a film, because then you really, you could really soak it up. There'd be the comic adaptation. There'd be vast action figure lines. There'd be all sorts of things going on to really support a film.
Yeah, there used to be a lot going on to support a film, and it just feels like this film didn't have anything again, much like Solo.
Yeah.
We don't even have an adaptation of the film as a novel to look forward to.
No, nothing. And, going back to Solo as well, I think everything when Solo was being released, it had very similar marketing strategy to this, i.e. there didn't appear to be one for quite some time, and then it was just a bit towards the final few weeks. But also, I think all eyes towards Solo's release were already being cast into the future, a year down the line, for the Rise of Skywalker, because people were hoping that if they enjoyed The Last Jedi, they were looking forward to Episode 9. If they didn't like The Last Jedi, certainly like myself, they were thinking, well, how on earth are we going to resolve this in the 9th episode? So I think people were already thinking about that, so Solo almost got dismissed in the mix. And I think it's a bit like that now with Starkiller. Everybody's focusing on Starkiller.
Starfighter.
Sorry, Starfighter, not Starkiller. Thank you. Everybody's focusing on Starfighter, and also the fact that it's the 50th anniversary next year. So you've got that double whammy that Mando and Grogu is kind of competing with already. If you knew that this was the only Star Wars content you were going to get for 3 years, it'd be more embraced.
The question is, are we going to get a 51st anniversary?
Because
To be perfectly honest, at this point in time, there's no more films in the pipeline. There's no more TV shows in the pipeline.
No.
That all the content comes out next year, and that's it. We are aware of nothing beyond next year.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they greenlit a film and a TV series now, you're most likely going to have the 51st year of Star Wars without any new content.
That's an interesting proposition. What about this then, Bri? Do you think, similar to what happened around 85 to 90, do you think Star Wars could do with a rest?
We've just had a 7-year rest.
From the cinema, but there's been content. I'm talking about a massive rest.
I don't think a studio like Disney can afford to say, we don't know what we're doing, let's give it a rest for 5, 6, 7 years, and then we'll come back to it. I don't see how that conversation goes in a boardroom.
No. From
how do we maximise value for shareholders? Let's take one of our biggest IPs and do nothing with it for the next decade, because the only reason, because we don't know what we're doing.
Well, we don't know what we're doing, or, less is more. Let's do nothing and really get people going, come on.
The whole concept of less is more has proven to not be true, because you've had how many years since 7 years since The Rise of Skywalker came out, anticipation for Star Wars back in the big screen, and nobody wants to go and see it.
Yeah.
You've had bomb after bomb on Disney Plus, but the last TV series you had out there was Andor, which was highly celebrated. So the whole concept of you have to rest as things for it to work just doesn't wash with me, full stop.
Yeah. Do you think as well, I mean, the last few times we spoke about this, there's been some quite sort of small budget horror films and dramas that have done better at the cinema than Mando and Grogu, and also Masters of the Universe, which to all intents and purposes is tanked in much the same way. Do you think it's because with both of the films, the Mando and the Masters of the Universe, because they're family screenings, and like we were saying before, it's so expensive to take the kids to the cinema, people are waiting for it to be available streaming, and the reason those other films have done quite well, because it's like teenagers who are just going to go and just sort of like, I'm going to have to buy a ticket for myself. And also, when are these films going to end up on streaming anyway? They may not. They're little indie films that might not end up on Netflix.
I think the problem boils down to, and it applies to all these studios, they want the next generation, the young viewers, the 18 to 30 demographic that propped up advertising on TV for years. And they completely forget about who's the people buying the subscriptions, who's the people buying the products, who's the people taking their kids to the cinema and paying the price.
Yeah.
If you cannot get the parents to take their children to the cinema to see a Star Wars film because you've targeted it for the next generation and you've alienated their age group in the process, it's your own fault. There is no need to have to pick an age group to target. No. You should be able to make a Star Wars film that appeals to everybody. That should not be difficult.
First and foremost, you make it for the fan base that you've already got, because the last thing you want to do is alienate them. So, the worst thing you can do in any franchise is ignore the people that are already fully committed to it.
Yep.
Because that's when you start losing those people, and there's no guarantee that you're going to gain new people.
We talked about that last week with how it relates to Stargate, and you've got a massive kickback on social media just now against Amazon MGM Studios because they were stupid enough to allow the news out that they've cancelled the 4th TV series on the basis of they didn't want it to be basically didn't want it to be liked by people who liked the original TV series. They wanted to find
which
new
is
fans.
Mad. Yeah.
So in the process, you've killed your franchise because now the people who would have tuned in, guaranteed viewers, now want what you do next to fail.
Yeah.
And they've done this with Star Wars. You've alienated a certain amount of the fan base to the point that they're now celebrating when Star Wars fails.
How many times do you see posts on social media where the fans of the originals, and here's one of them, who talk about Star Wars in terms of episodes 1 to 6, or even 4, 5, and 6. A lot of big Star Wars fans don't even acknowledge the sequel trilogy, so they're not going to look at little things like Mando and Grogu, and so on.
And I get that to an extent, but also moving forward, Disney, Lucasfilm have no option but to use the characters from the sequel trilogy to bring it forward, because they did such a terrible job of handling the original trilogy characters in the sequels. To the point that there's none of them left for them to use.
No. I know. Which travesty. But still, what's done is done. Yeah.
One
we've
thing
dwelled on
to
that.
come out very well out of the Mandalorian and Grogu was LiningUp.net raised $20,000 for Starlight Children's Foundation for lining up to see the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Good.
They've obviously done it many, many times before for various Star Wars films. Fantastic charity they're raising for as well, and fantastic amount of money, so well done to them.
Nice to see the Woloskis involved with that as well. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so hats off to them.
Yeah.
Up next in the news front, Marvel Comics. You kind of mentioned it there. Nothing to support the Mandalorian and Grogu, which is kind of true.
Yeah.
We have got the solicitations for what's coming out in August. We have a Rogue One, Chirrut Bays, so they're continuing their celebration of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Would have been sensible to have this last year when Andor was on there, but
yeah, they really do get these things mixed up big time, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. It comes back to yours to connect the dots, you know?
Yeah.
Fall of Kylo Ren, issue 1. Kylo Ren has actually been a character that's been handled very, very well in the comics. And there's been a number of miniseries with him that's been pretty well handled. But of course, we're not getting a Kylo Ren movie that is much wanted.
But the comic's still very well with the Knights of Ren as well.
Yes.
But that's the annoying thing, isn't it? You shouldn't have to. I mean, comics should be there for people that enjoy the comics. They shouldn't be there as core elements of the source material for the films. The films and TV should explain everything that you need to know. Anything else should be sort of like icing on top of the cake. It shouldn't be like the majority of the cake. It's madness.
And we've also got the final issue of Galaxy's Edge, Echoes of the Empire, which promises to reveal something fantastically mysterious about Batuu. And so I'm assuming they're going to put a new prop up somewhere and link it in the comic somehow. Apparently no fan of Star Wars and Disney parks will want to miss the climactic final issue. So just a few comics, still no ongoings. But apparently Marvel's doing this across the Marvel range as well. So interesting. If you are a fan of comics, Cavan Scott is doing a comics writing course. Maybe well worth doing if you want to learn how to write a comic. You could do an ongoing series for Star Wars. Follow the link in our description. I'll take you to fantatracks.com and you'll get the link there right at the bottom of the screen to head on over to apply to be part of the online course taking place between Tuesday 25th August and Thursday the 8th of October, twice a week at 7 p.m. AEST time. I don't know what time that is.
I mean, you're a massive comic collector. Is that something that you've ever considered, Brian? Have you ever thought, I could tap this?
I have written some fan fiction in the past, and no one will ever read it by me.
Okay.
We did mention. Oh, I've broken the link here. Let me see if I can recover it. It's not going to work, is it? Here we go. We did talk about the lack of support for the Mandalorian and Grogu, but there is a comic coming in July, which is probably when it's going to be on Disney Plus. It's called The Mandalorian and Grogu Danger in the Dark. If you look at the cover, the danger is if you come out your little mud hut in the middle of the night, there's a good chance you're going to stand on a turd.
And we're not talking about the film.
Written by Delia Dawson, who is a great writer. It's going to be $6.99, and so there is something coming. It's just too late.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to you, Bri, you warned about this months ago. I was quite surprised to find out what the viewing figures for the Mandalorian TV series actually were.
Yeah.
And when you told me globally what the figures were, I forget what they were now. Was it something like 3.5 million? Yeah, globally.
And that's a very well watched Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
Out of 120 million subscribers. Shows you how few people are actually consuming the content.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's mental. But you know, I suppose when you're the fan of anything, you always assume that everybody also knows what it is and is really into it. It blows my mind that those are the viewing figures.
This real problem, and it happens across all streaming, is that because you're not working to TV schedules, people aren't watching things at the same time, so you don't have that water cooler discussion point anymore, or that familiarity with a series that people will discover it years after someone else, or you know, there's not that same universal recognition for programs anymore.
That's very true.
Everything becomes a success, but it's a niche success. And there's no value to the 18-30 demographic anymore because nobody knows who's watching these streaming services because nobody signs in with their own login. If you go to Amazon Prime and there's 5 people in the household, nobody's picking their own login. Everyone just uses the main account.
They just use the first one that comes up.
So nobody has a clue who's watching it. And these statistics companies are way off in terms of what's going on. We've had a second update from Mr. Newbold in terms of the global prices. We've maybe encouraged a lot of people to go and switch off watching us live, go and see the film because it's jumped up 15 million.
This is like the totalizer for comic relief.
It is. There's like Lenny Henry's just lying to us to get us to give money. Somebody's just walked in with a 5 million check there. It's... There's nobody accurately reflecting streaming numbers.
No.
There's no indicator that allows you to compare Netflix shows against Amazon shows and what's more popular. There's nobody doing it well enough. And so the whole market's changed. The only people who know are Disney. They know how their shows are doing. And it's showing in what gets renewed and what doesn't.
So based on that sort of information, on those sort of viewing figures, what do you see as being the future of,
I don't know,
streaming?
Because you're now spending, Iron Brew. You're now spending $200 million to make an 8-episode TV series. You wouldn't have spent half that to make a 22-episode series when it was on broadcast. You used to get $40 to pay for your TV subscription. Now they're getting $8 for your streaming service. The math does not math.
No.
No. I don't know what the future is, but what you're going to see, and you're seeing it now, is more influencer-based TV shows.
Yeah.
More trashy, low-budget, garbage content. Because they're willing to spend the money to fill the content up on that. You're actually going to see less of what they initially promised, which is top-end dramas.
Yeah.
You've got companies like Apple who are in the game who aren't remotely interested in making a profit from Apple TV. Apple TV's there to sell devices.
Yeah.
So they get all the top creators in and spend big money on big productions and make fantastic content. Very few people end up seeing it. Amazon is bundled in with your Amazon Prime, which I get to get free delivery.
Same here. Yeah.
You know, Netflix is the outlier where people actually have to pay for the service direct. You're seeing HBO, Paramount being bundled more often than not. Disney Plus and Netflix now getting bundled in the Sky package in the UK. So if they're getting bundled, they're not getting their whole $8. They're probably getting $2. So the whole thing becomes worse. But they'll report, we've got X number of subscribers, but how many of them are Sky subscribers and how many of them are actually watching? And it comes back to, if you've got 120 million subscribers, why is your top TV show only being watched by 3.5?
Yeah. Yeah.
These are the questions that the studios need to answer, and they're not prepared to answer them at the moment because they all realise that they have seriously mucked up when it comes to the streaming industry. And they're continually betting on it that one day it's going to make us money somehow, and nobody knows how.
Yeah. I mean, the most annoying thing about Amazon Prime these days is the adverts. 4 minutes of adverts, you've got to wait for that to tick through. I mean, yes, you can pay more to have no adverts, but...
More frustrating is the Disney Plus adverts, because they failed to sell their advertising space, ends up being adverts for their own products. So they're making the viewing experience worse for no purpose.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The only people winning in this point in time are people who make regular content and can sell it to the streaming companies. The likes of UFC, who are I think there's a fight tonight for Donald Trump's birthday at the White House. The UFC, WWE, boxing, these kind of things who can make regular weekly, monthly events for these streaming companies, and they're getting big money. But that's going to come crashing to an end at some point as well when they realise that we can't keep spending that kind of money on this kind of content. But much like NFL, NBA, and such an American TV channels, these channels also realise that's the only reason these people are subscribing to our channels. So we've got to keep the content.
So if you've got, did you say 120 million subscribers to Disney
roughly.
Plus? Okay. And if you've only got a handful of million watching each new thing that comes out, what primarily are people using Disney Plus for? As a library for the Disney animated stuff?
Yeah, I think it's a put on and sit your kid in front of the TV and watch Bluey.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Not watching Blueies. They're not watching...
Yeah. But I think that's where people use it as a archive library more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, certainly that's what I use it as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think people are using it for new content.
No.
And that's a problem.
It's basically replaced my DVD and Blu-ray collection.
Yeah. Because people don't want to get down on their hands and knees and feed a disc into a machine.
It's tidier. Yeah.
Pretty much it, I think.
Yeah.
Talking about sports there, we should remind, obviously the World Cup's going on. Guess who was at the World Cup this week? If I can find it.
Not you, Brian.
Not me. Mr. George Lucas was at the America-Paraguay game.
Of course he was. Who was he cheering on?
Well, we'd assume he's cheering on America. But,
what does EUA stand for?
I don't know. I think that's because it was taken from some dodgy foreign channel.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, yeah.
We're not paying for the official transmission here. Don't call us out there. There's George Lucas and the lovely padded seats at the...
More importantly, what food have they got there? What's the snacks?
I don't know. It looks like it's a quiche. He's got smart water. He's got a Coca-Cola. To his right, he's got a little fan to keep him happy.
See?
Also there, Mr. Tom Cruise, Mr. David Beckham, getting in the padded seats.
Both of them rubbish at the live long and prosper hand sign. They're trying their best, aren't they?
Trying their best. But they're... also there, these two young ladies who I don't know at all. Apparently they're actresses, and I can only presume that Mr. Lucas, who said he was going to be making some experimental films that nobody would want to see, is perhaps using these young actresses. No idea who they are at all.
I've no idea, which makes me feel quite sad.
Yeah, definitely. No idea who they are at all. Moving swiftly on.
Well, we can't move on from the football. Come on, Brian. Have your 5 minutes. How well did?
Are you wanting me to talk about Scotland, seeing as Scotland won?
Yes.
I could talk for a long time about that. I could say, Jimmy Jean Lewis from the NBC TV series Heroes, who played the Haitian, Wycliffe John from the Fugees. Your boys took one hell of a beating. Scotland, we eked out a 1-0 win. We weren't at our best, but a win is a win. We'll take it. 3 points. Between now and next week's show, we have to play Morocco and Brazil. So next week we won't be talking about the World Cup.
We won't. but right now, did you stay up and watch it?
I did.
Because obviously over here in the UK, we were watching this at 2 a.m.
Yeah, 2 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah. Now I saw the first half, so I saw the goal, and then I drifted off.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything in the second half, to be fair. But yeah,
so I had to Google the final result.
It's the pubs were emptying in the UK at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could hear people going home. Put it like that.
Nothing new there.
Nothing new at all.
No. Well, we won't dwell on the result. Well done to yourself, Mr. McHugh, and anybody
Mr.
else.
Lucas, I'm sure he was supporting us.
Yeah, of course he was. Yeah.
Mr. Lucas and unknown young females.
Now, in the I won't say unlikely event. In the event that Scotland progressed through to the knockout stages, would you consider trying to find some way to get out there to watch some of those matches?
No. The only way I would go out there is if Iran get through and they get drawn with America. I would love to see that game. That would be sensational. That would get me out there. But having said that, that probably gets me banned from Anesta.
Oh dear. You know, I don't even load these questions up, but you go for it every time.
You have to admit, that would be a great game.
Oh, mate, I tell you, it would be explosive.
It would be.
Quite literally.
I do note that the Iranian team have moved their training base from America to Mexico. So, yeah.
Wow.
Can't imagine why.
A smart move, methinks.
Can't imagine why. But yeah, America did very well. They did very well.
They did.
And as one of the 3 host nations, so fair play to them as well.
I'm sure for England later in the week.
Mr. Steve Sansweet was celebrating not just his 81st birthday, but an American win.
Yeah. I believe it's his birthday today, I believe.
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, 81.
You know, well done to Mr. Steve Sansweet. Another year under the belt and a year closer to another Star Wars film in the cinema.
A massive advocate for Star Wars, you know. Have you been to Rancho Obi-Wan?
I have. I went to one of their fundraising events. I met Mr. Dave Filoni there.
Did you?
I did. Next to the chicken shed outside. And I don't know what happened, but there was about 6 or 7 of us. And he joined us, as it happens. These things. And everybody else seemed to disappear. And I was left with Mr. Filoni. And I think, would the Clone Wars have been on at the time? Could have been Rebels, don't know. And, you know, having mentioned that I'd travelled all the way from Scotland to California for this single day event, He obviously presumed I was a big Star Wars fan, and he asked me if I was enjoying the new series. And I had two options. Lie through my teeth and just say yes and try and wing a conversation, or just say I don't watch it. So I just went with I don't watch it. Let's be honest. And there was a moment of silence whilst he computed the fact. How can you be a big Star Wars fan and not be watching it? Then we talked ice hockey, and he was quite happy.
Was it with him that you started talking about football as well? Did it turn out he supported some random team?
Oh, he supports a random English team, yeah.
Was it Aston Villa or something like that?
Something like that,
yeah.
Yeah. Lovely guy. I've met him a few times. But yeah, fair play to him. He's now president. But these are the great things of doing some of these Rancho events. You never know who you're going to meet or who you're going to strike up conversation with.
Yeah.
And a young Mr. Dave Filoni came in. A number of Lucasfilm staff actually came to support. Steve's obviously a very popular figure. And they all wanted to support the fundraising for Rancho.
Well, I first met Steve probably the first time that I met you as well, Brian. So I started working with Mark Newbold, and it was at the celebration in the UK back in 2016. And Rancho Obi-Wan had got a bit of a setup with you guys. So that's when I met you and Steve the same day.
Oh, of course. He did signings in London.
That's right. Little £5 sign and stick it in the charity box. There you go. Thank you very much.
Yeah. He was very popular indeed.
Yeah. Now I've never been to Rancho, but Jonathan Hipkiss from Phantom Tracks and myself have got tickets booked for April the 10th, so just after celebration next year. So that'll be my first and possibly only chance to see Rancho, because obviously things are changing rapidly in the future when the combined collections of Steve and various others, Gus and others will come together. So the future for Rancho Obi-Wan, I suppose, it's a changing thing. It's a thing in motion.
Yeah, it is. I think your mind will be blown when you go there, because it's not just about the products that he's collected over the years. And they have it laid out fantastically. It's beautiful the way they've got it laid out, and it's a wonderful just walk through there. But it's the fan-made elements that he's collected over the years, just this truly unique, crazy little elements. And I kind of love that, just weird and wonderful. And you could have spent days there and only seen a fraction.
I might make him something.
Make him something. But yeah, happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Also celebrating an anniversary. It was 45th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Tremendous film. Love that film.
Another film that I think was promoted quite poorly when it first came out. I remember in the Star Wars comics that I was reading at the time, probably it would have been Empire Strikes Back Weekly, I take it. But all the pictures that were in the adverts for it, they weren't the action-packed stuff. They were just sort of like meh. I just didn't understand what Raiders of the Lost Ark was. So I never saw it at the cinema, and I was gutted years later when I realised what it was. Seeing the rest of them at the cinema. But yeah, an absolutely fantastic film.
And just to mark the change in times, it was 40 weeks in the top 10 at the cinema.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Which is even more incredulous that I never went to see it.
It is,
That's
no
weird.
excuse. Something else that you probably didn't see. Manny Jacinto and the Acolyte. Very few people did.
I know.
Unfortunately, and that's why it was cancelled. Could not justify the expense of the budget for the viewer numbers. And ironically, it was one of the most watched shows on Disney Plus the year it came out.
Yeah.
Still terrible viewing figures.
I do feel inclined to give it a go at some point in the future.
Yeah. He made an interesting comment, though, when asked if he'd be back. He made the comment that there's no stranger without Leslie Headland. It's the people that help build this character. It's not just me. It's the costume designers, our writers, all that stuff. It took a team to build Kemar, to build the stranger. I'd love to work with them again as well. So,
Are you sure he's not been misquoted? There's nothing stranger than Leslie Headland.
yeah. So my thought on that is if his condition is coming back to be the stranger, is that Leslie Headland and team are back. I don't see it happening.
Don't think we'll see him.
No.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he was a standout character in what for me was a very, very weak show, but yeah, well, who knows?
We talked about the Mandalorian and Grogu earlier. I think I mentioned this. Did I mention it in the show last week? I certainly mentioned it in a chat.
I think you did,
online. The Lee Isaac Chung, who played the Y-Wing pilot, was flying quite an historic vessel in the Mandalorian and Grogu. As he was flying the ship that's known as the Red Jammer, which you can see here, which is actually at the George Lucas Museum, or will be when it opens.
Excellent.
They'd actually done a restoration work on the model. One of the very first that ILM built back in 1976. And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were actually being shown around the museum by George, and they came across this, and I think they asked if they could include it in the Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah. And so they did.
I think I'm right in saying as well, I think there was a version of it that came out as one of the early diecast models as well.
Oh, that I didn't know.
I'm pretty sure. While you're talking, I'll Google it.
But yeah, it says there, I shot 2 motion-controlled elements of it. It's in the movie and will go by quickly unless someone points it out and won't notice it. But there are 2 photographed elements of a 1976 original model from Star Wars, which has never been seen on screen before.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right.
It was built in England to be the reference model for the art department to use to build the full-size exterior cockpit set. Mr. Newbold has the red one.
Yeah, there you are. He's got the red one. Well, of course he has. He's got everything.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Even Steve Sansweet goes to Mark's house and goes, wow, you've got that.
Aiden Ehrenreich has won a Tony Award. We spoke about Solo, Star Wars story, earlier in the show there. And he's won the award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Featured Role in a Play. In relationship comedy, Becky Shaw, his first professional acting award win after numerous nominations. So congratulations to him. Do you think we'll ever see him back as Solo?
I would love to see him back. So, I mean, if you want to hear my thoughts on Alden, then the latest podcasts from Start Your Engines, me and Mark talk about the speeder chase from the start of Solo, and then obviously we talk further about Alden and Solo, a Star Wars story. I thought he did a great job, and yeah, I would have him back in a heartbeat. He was absolutely brilliant. He didn't do an impersonation. He did his own thing, and that was great.
I have to admit, I was surprised by Kathleen Kennedy's comments and her sort of exit interview.
She got it wrong. Comments. She got that wrong totally, Brian. Yeah,
I think so, but clearly that's the opinion within Lucasfilm, I would suggest.
Yeah.
I got my issue of Insider this week, by the way.
Yeah.
I was almost going to cancel my subscription. It was that late. So I've sat down. Congratulations, Mr. Newbold, for interviewing Kathleen Kennedy. It was a very good interview. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was. I disagreed completely with her. I just think they got that completely. Read that situation completely wrong.
Yeah.
But, I hope to see him back. I think he deserves to be back. I think his performance was great. I find that a very rewatchable film.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. It's one of the ones that, I mean, when I'm working, I'll quite often put a film on in the background and just listen to the audio of it because the images are stuck in your mind anyway. That, Rogue One, and to be honest, The Force Awakens, those are the three films from the Disney era that I quite like. They'd probably be in my certainly my top 7 or 8 films.
I pulled out this little video because I wanted to talk about Andor this week as well.
Yeah.
But SWFD put together this little video of the Aldhani Heist. So I'm just going to play a little flavour of it just so we can remind ourselves about Andor.
Okay.
What's the offer?
5 days. Big stakes, big danger. Prep team, good plan. You survive and deliver. I'll give you 200,000.
What would we be stealing?
The quarterly payroll for an entire Imperial sector.
There used to be hundreds of settlements up here. 40,000 Aldhanis all across the Highlands. They were here for centuries, but it only took the Empire a decade to clear them out.
Not too many Darnies to worry about anymore. Still enough to smell them.
The Darnies, they're simple people. They have great difficulty holding multiple ideas simultaneously. We found the best way to steer them as we'd like is to offer alternatives. You put a number of options on the table, and they're so wrapped up in choosing they fail to notice you've given them nothing they thought they wanted at the start.
Aldhani has the unfortunate quality of being close to nothing and not very far away from everything. It's the perfect hub for distribution, if one were trying to take over the galaxy.
The Empire has been choking us so slowly we're starting not to notice. Time has come to force their hand.
And it's a great edit. It goes on for about 10 minutes. You should go and check out. Again, link in the show descriptions. But I really just want to touch and remember the flavour and the class that Andor brought to Star Wars, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
The depth of the storytelling as well. Because there's a great article on fathertracks.com this week written by Jonathan Hipkiss about what could a theatrical release of Andor look like. Now, it's been spoken about previously that they have edited together episodes of Andor to allow for a cinematic release that would tie it in with Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been talked about it was going to be released, I think, Christmas this year, but there's been no further word since. What do you think of that? Do you think it would work as a cinematic release?
I think it would be tricky to stitch both seasons into just one film, but I think you could probably do 2 films, one based on the first season, one based on the second. It would take a genius editor to put that together, though, because for both you're looking at 10-12 hours of content that you would want to bring down to about 2.5 hours at a push.
Yeah.
It could be done.
The reason we bring this back up is because Jan Miles, the actual Andor editor, brought up the fact that this theatrical mix exists at Galaxy Palooza.
He did. Yeah, I was there. But I don't think we dwelled on whether that was based on all the content of Andor or whether it was based on one season or the second, first or second season. But it's an interesting idea. I like the idea of it existing as both. Retain it as the series as like an expanded version of a film, and then also have a theatrical release as well. A theatrical equivalent. But it would be nice to see it on a big screen as well, wouldn't it?
I remember correctly, and I might not be remembering correctly, but bear with me. Effectively, they finished the cut of Andor in about the October.
Yeah.
It didn't release until April the next year, so they had 6 months to play about.
Yeah.
And so it was basically Tony Gilroy and his editors playing about, and that's why they made this theatrical release, because they had the time before they moved on to their next projects. So I believe it is the 2 seasons.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose the thing is, because we've seen both seasons, your mind will play tricks on you. If you were to see a theatrical cut of it, you're already filling in the blanks because you've already seen the blanks.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you know the bits that effectively become off-screen moments, they already exist in your mind. So it kind of doesn't work retrospectively. But it's a great idea. I mean, if you can condense it down to make it a quicker watch, while still being able to, recall in your mind the bigger story, it's
See,
it's a bit like when you're cramming for an exam, isn't it?
there's lots you could do. You could cut out the whole fact that he was abducted as a child and brainwashed by Marva into hating the Empire. You could cut that whole section out if you wanted. You could cut out everything about his sister. There's things you could have him commit the terrorist act. You could have him go into jail, and that would sort of be your first hour, maybe. Then your second hour's focus more on the political downfall and goings on in Coruscant, maybe.
Yeah. They could use our show notes, Brian.
They could do.
When we reviewed it.
They should do. They should lean more into the fact that he was a terrorist, and she was a political opponent of Palpatine who didn't like the fact that nobody wanted to vote her way, and so she raised an army to assault democracy.
Yeah. But I think what the beauty of Andor's season 1 and 2 was that because it was allowed to breathe, because it was done over so many episodes, then you got the impact of the whole prison scene, which was effectively sort of 2.5 hours worth of content based in the prison. You wouldn't get that in a film. You might get that condensed into 15-20 minutes. You got the whole sort of the funeral. Was it Aldhani where they had the funeral?
Yeah.
Where it was, yeah. That would have been greatly condensed. Now the power of that is the march, the will of the people, and then of course you've got everything in season 2. The Gorman massacre. I mean, that would have
Never
to be
happened.
massively
Cut
edited.
that out.
Never happened. Here we go. It's a blooming conspiracy.
Just a conspiracy. There's so much conspiracy in that whole program. Just cut that out. Just make the Empire cut. And basically, just make it the Empire cut, where it's the Empire basically catching all the terrorists and interrogating them to bring peace and justice back to the galaxy. And when you have Mon Mothma doing a great big speech, they should just add an extra little scene, which is the Emperor in the corner weeping at the death of democracy. That's what it needs.
That's why his eyes look so sore.
Yeah, that's
Oh dear. But yeah, it's an interesting prospect. I mean, hopefully we do get to see something because, it'd be like having some new Star Wars, wouldn't it?
It would be great to have that, and then have Rogue One as well. There was talk about it happening at Christmas. I can't see it being this Christmas on the basis of the cinema's just jam-packed.
Yeah.
But
what?
it'd be nice to kick off January with 2 Star Wars films in the cinema, and then 50th anniversary, you've got the Star Wars 50th anniversary. Yeah. Then Starfighter in May, Ahsoka at some point, squeezed in between.
Do you think the original Star Wars is going to do well at the cinema?
Yes. I think it could do seriously big money. The only thing I can think that would be against them now releasing this is the success of Mandalorian and Grogu, or the lack of success.
Yeah. What you mean, the Andor?
Yeah. As Mark suggests, you could have it released just ahead of Star Wars and IMAX.
Yeah.
It would make sense. You could take over the whole of February, basically. Andor, week 1, Rogue One, week 2, Star Wars, week 3, boom.
Well, I mean, the whole of next year should be a celebration of the 50th anniversary, shouldn't it? It shouldn't just be like, yes, it should. Not really.
Not really.
Yeah. Well, I think it should.
You think it should? I think you can overdo the 50th anniversary. I think you've got the danger that if you lean too heavily into the 50th anniversary of Star Wars, the whole conversation is, remember when Star Wars used to be good.
Yeah, or look how old it is.
But you also have the opposite side of that. It's when you don't lean into the 50th anniversary, as I don't feel they are, in certain aspects, and you start releasing very random, let's release a Return of the Jedi playset or something crazy in the 50th anniversary of Star Wars, and don't release a New Hope playset.
Yeah,
that kind of stupidity will be going on as well.
Of course it will.
Because you've got the danger, if you're Disney, you're still in this frame of mind, we want people to celebrate Star Wars, but we want them to like the sequel trilogy so they watch what's coming next.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it is intriguing to think what will come after this.
I think that you release Andor, Rogue One, and you use it as a build-up to the release of the 50th anniversary, get people pumped up, excited. You then have a wash of happiness, right, from February, and that's got to last till May, when Starfighter comes out, and Starfighter really has to hit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is, despite all it's a wholly original story and it's not connected to anything else, garbage. It is going to lean heavily into the sequel trilogy in itself. Yeah. And that's going to be the negativity that it captures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you really need Starfighter to say, look, we can still make great Star Wars films.
Yeah.
And I just think it's going to lean into the sequel trilogy in the last third of the film. And people are then going to go, oh.
Well, you were right about so many other things, so please don't.
I'm right about everything, and the things I'm wrong about, we just don't talk about again. We only talk about the things I'm right. They're the only things that get brought back up.
I'm right about everything. That's the quote of the night. I'm right about everything.
Right about everything, and if I'm wrong, it was never said.
It's recorded. It's
all right. We can edit it out afterwards.
You can always edit.
There's just this. I don't know what it is. There's just this malaise about Star Wars at this moment that we need to get out of, where it's lost its sparkle, and it needs to find its sparkle again. And the 50th anniversary can do that. I think people will be excited by the original Star Wars being out, our age group. The problem is the young people who they are chasing are going to watch it and go, oh, it's a little bit grainy. The special effects aren't very good. You've got that issue.
Yeah.
The people that don't know that you used to have a landline in your house, that's the generation.
I think the way you've got to think about it as well, though, is like if 50 years down the line from 1977, you're watching a film that still, all right, there might be a few dodgy special effects here and there, but generally speaking, it looks pretty good. If back in 1977 they'd been promoting something from 1927, there's no way on earth would that have looked any good.
I don't know. You've got The Grapes of Wrath. You've got... What else have you got?
Laurel and Hardy?
Gone with the Wind. Wizard of
Oh,
Oz.
jeez. Oh, no.
You start going back years, there's some classic films that are still very watchable.
No, they're shockers. No way.
I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what Lucasfilm's problem is, to be perfectly honest. They don't seem to be able to read the fandom. They don't seem to be able to want to read the fandom. They have got themselves into this bizarre, chasing the next generation of fans. And if you, as I said earlier, look up the hashtag Stargate on any kind of social media at the moment, and you'll get the perfect example of what's going on when studios do these things. It's a fascinating watch. I'm a huge Stargate fan. It's fascinating watching the consequences of a studio's own wish.
Actually destroy a fandom.
And I've just got that little bit of feeling that the same's happening with Star Wars, and that chasing this mythical next fan, and they've lost their own fans on the way, and I don't know how they recover from here, because their only path is to move forward with sequel trilogy characters.
Yeah. They're probably relying on the fact that by the time they use those characters again, the kids that was their first step into Star Wars will be adults.
I know, but the problem is they're then not the generation that they want to tap into. It becomes a cyclical effect. The prequel trilogy fans, huge in the prequel trilogy, fantastic to see the reaction towards Ewan and Aiden at celebrations, because they've grown up with those characters. But they're not making films for the prequel generation either.
No.
Although
Ahsoka season 2 promises to give them something.
But what's Ahsoka season 2 going to deliver? Because originally it looked like it was leaning heavily towards building us up to an Heir to the Empire type trilogy. So it all feels like we've kind of veered away from that a little bit. Because even the Mandalorian and Grogu was scared about doing something for its existing fans.
It was, yeah, and it needed to do that.
Yeah,
that's why. That would have sort of pushed it up to another level. Would have got people going time and time again to see it. But, hey.
Yeah. Oh well. On this depressing note, should we call it a night?
we only tell it how it is.
Or they might have replaced us with the next generation.
Oh, shall we? Should we do that one week?
Yeah.
We'll do like
Little Ant and Dec.
Little Ant and Dec.
Oh dear.
We'll do that.
Yeah, we've got that to look forward to next week. We'll be back live, and then we're going to have a recorded show the week after, because we're going to be at Star Fury.
We are.
Looking forward to that. We will have podcasts coming up this week. Out now is the latest Start Your Engines. Tell us about that, Paul.
Yeah, so Start Your Engines focuses on the speeder chase at the beginning of Solo. So we, Mark and myself, do a bit of a deep dive on the 3 key vehicles in that chase scene. So there was Han's speeder, well, the one he acquired, the one that had got Moloch in it, and then there was an Imperial sort of speeder bike of sorts, of like a rectangular wedge. But yeah, so we talk about that, and it was an enjoyable episode to record, and hope you enjoy listening to it.
Yeah. There's a new episode of Making Tracks out on Friday this week. Mark's not told me what's on the show, so I'm going to tell you he's going to have some of the first content from Galaxy Palooza, because if he hasn't got that on the show, then he's going to have to edit it now.
Get in. Are you on this episode, Brian?
Well, that would be the only saving grace. If he didn't want to edit the stuff from Galaxy Palooza, he'd invite me on.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
You'd think. But, we'll wait and see. There's a new Planet Leia coming soon as well.
Yep.
So we've got that to look forward to as well. Yep. But in the meantime, we'll say it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him. Good
Enjoy
night.
the World Cup, people.
Keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news each and every day on panthatracks.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, and Pinterest at Fantha Tracks. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow Fantha Tracks TV to be alerted to new content and to be a part of our live shows.